So here we are again with the English version of Animal's portfolio. He really has been working hard to get things going. He wants to work in the United States, in the UK, but also in the Netherlands and Belgium and South Africa. Animal can tell not only about his personal data, who he is, when he was born and things like that, but he can also tell a little bit more about himself, and that's the richness of the portfolio that we like so much. For instance, Animal thinks, he is convinced that he is a living clone of Keith Moon, the former drummer, the late drummer of a band called The Who. And, well, you can agree with that. Animal thinks this is really the case. I've read some reports that this is not really true, but Animal believes that and puts it in his portfolio. He can also talk a little bit about his favorite pets. In his case, it's Sprocket, the mad dog from the Fraggle series. I like that one very much, and Animal is really a fan. And then, of course, a nice picture, all dressed well. The band he has played in so long, Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, they are called, and rightfully Animal is very proud of that and ends his personal description with a photograph. But there's more in the portfolio that Animal can share. For instance, he can talk a little bit about his learning experience. So to do this, it was very easy. He just clicked the button New, and then he could enter the kind of program that he has gone through, the name of the school or the institution, the year he started, the year he ended, and if it's still going on, he can check the box Current. And he can also tell us what he liked about the program and what he liked about the school. I'm not going to save this one, I leave this one empty, but we can see what Animal wrote about himself. And this last item can be deleted. So anything that he writes can also later be edited. There's an edit button and it can be deleted if he wants. So Animal can expand his learning experience report, and this is a very strong feature. The working section of this portfolio works more or less the same. We start, according to the latest traditions, latest views about CVs and what they should contain, we start with Animal's competences. In his case, it's rather short. Drumming, what else? He can write about his language skills, and as I said before, this goes the same here. If he wants to add something, delete something, that's easy enough. But we leave it as it is. He has a very good mastering of English, he thinks, and his humming is even better, and groaning is really excellent. Dogs run for their lives, which you can imagine by only looking at his picture. So his work experience then starts with the latest work that he has done, and also some comment what he liked there, and then the previous work, The Muppet Show. So he is really in need for a new job. In fact, as it shows here, he hasn't been working after 2008. This is not completely correct. Animal has appeared in some shows, but it was not a regular job. Now, Animal can communicate about whatever he is doing with a mentor. In fact, in this case, he chose me as his mentor, if the screen is switching. Yeah. Now, those of you who have never seen me, that's my picture. That's really me. By choosing me as his mentor or someone else, Animal can communicate about what is going on in his career, and he can make some remarks about things that he wants to know from me. So started very informally, so asking me about favorite pet and things, and then he made some nasty remarks in response. So that's just communication going on. That's okay for a portfolio, because a portfolio is also a platform for a mentor, a trainer, a teacher, a parent maybe, to communicate with someone who is not in the same room. That's what this communication is for. But of course the mentor is also the one who will guide Animal through courses and through attempts to find a new job. So you can see in this overview where all the comments, the questions and replies are listed. You can see that there is a call from the mentor to Animal to start choosing a course and start working on that. And also a comment about the CV. That's the remark on top. Is it really necessary to remind people of what you did to poor Dudley Moore? If you want to know what Animal did to Dudley Moore, just Google that and you will have a nice little movie on YouTube to enjoy. Animal can store any file like in the section My Files. What you see here is a couple of double listed CVs, because he produces one every week almost. Some of them are redundant, but they can be removed very easily by selecting the document and saying remove. Are you sure you want to delete it? Okay, now it's gone. So he is in complete control of all the information he uses and all the files that are suitable to him. We can go now from My Files to My Courses, because that's a very interesting part as well. In My Courses, Animal has a selection of the courses that he found somewhere else, namely under the tab All Courses. Here Animal has access to all the courses in the database. It works more or less the same as the full course finder, but it's simplified. And Animal is not that smart, so for him that's very useful. Now if he would like to do something with General English Language, the first course that you can see, it's very easy. Just double-clicking it will lead to opening a page containing more information. So he can already order the course or ask when the training course will be started, when the classes will start. And he can print that by using the PDF button. So he doesn't need to log in again to have the information available. But he can also say, hey, I like this one. Maybe I want to do that course. And if he made it his favorite, he can then see it in his list of My Courses. You see it down below. It was the latest course selected, General English Language. And above that you can see that he was also interested in General Dutch Language. I don't know why, but I think there was even already a comment about that from me, his mentor. Are you sure you want to do that? Because it's not so easy. In My Courses, I can change also, Animal can change the status of the courses that he is interested in. So he can do that right up here. After being interested for some time, maybe urged by the mentor, seeing this interest but nothing happening, he can change the course status to started. From that moment on, the mentor, and I will show that later on, the mentor knows Animal started this course. And maybe after a week or after 2 weeks, the mentor can ask, hey, how are you doing? Is this all going well? Do you have specific questions? Should I pass by and help you with some element in that course? Of course, the mentor can suggest courses. That's only what the system is about. But when we now go back also to the first page, the personal page, you see two very interesting buttons. That's the PDF. What does it do? It exports all the relevant information to a CV in PDF format, a written CV. A CV that can be printed and that can be also sent as a document attached to an email to an employer who might be when doing helped by the system itself, because Animal is not that good at layout and things like that. Animal would have trouble organizing the information in such a way that it chose the Europass format as being in Europe the most relevant format for a CV, and this CV is produced by the system on the basis of the information that Animal just put into text boxes, and it is produced in such a way that it will look nice, well organized, and Animal is really capable of making a good impression on a candidate employer. So this is a very strong, at least capable handling the layout of WordPerfect or another word processor. And it was too difficult for them to organize the information correctly, and this system is capable of doing that for him. There's another thing, another feature that is interesting. That's the second button. Animal, if he knows a certain email address, can use that email address, and I will use my own, can use that email address to send his link to. That means that the receiver of this message, and you see the standard letter that is produced as an email message accompanying this link, Animal can use this to send a more extended CV, portfolio, to a candidate employer, to a teacher of the next educational institute where he wants to subscribe, or to any other person who might be interested. Just clicking the button send means that this link will be sent to the receiver, and from that moment the receiver... I was too quick here. I'm going to open this link once again because you can see also two checkboxes. One is here, the private checkbox for private information. If it is checked, this information below about me is not going to be sent with the link. The link will be restricted to the section. There's another section called My Way, which I didn't present yet, but I'm going to show it from here. In My Way, Animal can put in a kind of a blog system his experiences, his opinions, whatever is on his mind. But also this can be kept private. Standard situation is that what he mentions here is not going to be sent with the link to the static portfolio to any receiver, and then it will be sent. We leave it private because, as you can see, Animal also has some rather irrelevant experience that he wants to share. For instance, the fact that he auditioned for the role of Miss Piggy once long ago, and I think we can all be happy that he was not successful in doing that. I'm now going to log out. And in the logout page I will show just one extra feature, which is the language choice that you have here. If you want, you can set the language, the standard language of your portfolio to any of the now existing 5 languages for the portfolio. So Bulgarian users can have their portfolio in Bulgarian. And now I just hope that I can find my way back after doing that and change in Bulgarian, Cyrillic. Now I hope it's here. Yes, it is. I'm changing quickly back to English. Okay. A view of Animal's portfolio looks like. You saw the mentor page of Animal's portfolio that I am his mentor, which means that I, as a mentor, should be able to see my client. Now, I have a number of clients, among which is also Animal. And when I'm his mentor, I can open status of Animal. I can, for instance, say that I can see that what he has mentioned under education and training is not really much. So we have to find something else, maybe to make his portfolio more interesting. His working experience is rather limited, and what he has put under My Way should better be kept private. I recommend the short video clip where he messes up Rita Moreno's version of Fever. It's really nice to see, but you wouldn't put that in your CV or in your link to the static portfolio that you send to employers. I can see what he's doing in terms of, and I can see that he just started, just today, the computer course, the very easy computer course. And by the way, that's coming from an online, from a Leonardo or previous Leonardo da Vinci opportunity here to advertise previous products of your Leonardo da Vinci and other lifelong learning program projects.